Good evening, my friends. Hello. Where is everybody? There's everybody. Something's wrong with my chat. Like, I didn't see people. People were here and I didn't see them. What are you doing? My friends. How's everybody doing now that I got my camera nice and I'm adjusted so y'all can see me up close and personal really good? We're going to do something different tonight with Christmas upon us coming. Most popular question right now is, how do I make a bow? Well, I'm going to show you how to make some bows with two different tools that you can purchase at uniquecreek.com. One being the Measure Buddy. Yep, believe it or not, you can use this to make bows, and I'm going to show you how. And the other one is the EzBow Stow and Go. Okay, I'm not seeing the chat. I don't know what is going on. See if I can fix that. That's an improvement. All right. We're going to start off by using the Measure Buddy. All right, so the Measure Buddy, believe it or not, you can make some pretty big honking bows with this thing. Y'all are going to love my accent tonight, like honking. Okay. It would be your most common, which is at the 14-inch measurement, which in relation to bow makers are going to be 7-inch loops. Okay? And you can go all the way up to 10-inch loops. With me so far? Everybody with me so far? But we're going to start out making what we're going to call a basic wreath bow. Okay? We're going to use Measure Buddy. Can y'all believe that? We're going to make a basic wreath bow using Measure Buddy. Grab some zip ties and some poop cleaners. Oh, pipe cleaners, I mean. Hello! Okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do, like I said, with the Measure Buddy, is I'm going to show you how to make a basic wreath bow with it. I hope y'all are going to enjoy this tonight. I thought it was time to take a break from a wreath. Just focus on making a bow. Okay? The first thing that we want to do is for our bow, our loops are going to be 14 inches, but I want my tail to be 15 inches. So that's the first thing I'm going to cut is my first tail. All right, so it's going to be 15 inches. And we're going to dovetail that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mark center on this. So we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to give it a good crimp. Okay? That's going to mark center. Now I want my bow to have 4 loops, 2 on each side. So what we want to do to achieve that is you want to have your ribbon start halfway down. Halfway down your EzBow. Okay, actually just over halfway down your EzBow. Or your measure buddy. All right, and then we're going to go and we're going to make 2 laps around. So that's 1 set of loops. And then you're going to come back to center with your second set of loops. All right. You're going to pull this off. And then what you want to do is you're going to fold this in half now. Want to find center, fold it in half, 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 half. Crimp it if you need to. And then we're going to place that with our tail. Okay, now here's the trick, my friends. We're going to have to make little cuts. Little cuts. Little slits. At that halfway point, don't go all the way across. You just want to make little slits, okay? See? Little slits. And then we're going to set that aside. All right. Our next, we're going to go up. We're going to go down to 13. And just for color variance, so you can see exactly what I'm doing, let's get another ribbon. All right, so this ribbon tail, we're going to go down in size, and it's going to be 14 inches. Dovetail it, and then in your center, find your center, make a pinch so you know where center is at. Kind of prefer to go this way. All right, and now we're going to make four loops again. Keep in mind, we went down an inch, so the first set was 14 inches. This is going to be 13 inches. Halfway down your measure buddy, we're going to go 1, 2, back to center. And then we're going to pull that off. Then we're going to take this and fold it in half. Then we're going to cut little slits. Don't go all the way across, my friends. And we're going to do the same thing in our ribbon tail. And then we're going to add it to our stack. Okay? Any questions so far? So now we're going to go down to 12 inches. And I want my ribbon tail to be 13 inches. Find the halfway point. Yep. Then we're going to add that to our stack. And then this time, Oop. You want to go halfway down your measure buddy to start. And this time I just want to do 3 loops. So we're going to go, you start over here halfway down. This is 1 loop, and look, we've got 2 loops. So we're going to stop over here on this side. So see how that worked out? See, there's 2 loops over here. I want a total of 3, so there's 2 over here, 1 over here. Everybody understand that? And then we're going to fold that in half. Like I said, be very careful that you don't cut all the way through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a zip tie, start at the bottom, grab your stack of ribbon, and then you're going to make sure that your zip tie goes through in between all those slits. And you're going to tighten all that down. And then we're going to cut our zip tie off. Woo! And fluff our bow. You'll pull your loops out and apart. Notice how I'm not being gentle. You don't have to be gentle, my friends. Yep. Don't be that strong. I ripped the ribbon. Don't pull on it as hard as Jackie just did. I accidentally ripped the ribbon. But what we're going to do is we're just going to flip this over and salvage it as a ribbon tail. Because I pulled too hard. That was my fault. Sometimes I don't know my own strength, my friends. I'm hoping by showing you all this, those of you are struggling to make bows on some of the bow makers, this will be a little bit of a different perspective, different, look at it. And maybe a different way that y'all will kind of understand, and then you'll be able to start making bows. I know, right? Like, you don't have to be gentle with ribbon, but, like, don't superwoman it like I just did. Alright, this tail is a little bit long. Well, this was actually supposed to be a loop, but I accidentally ripped my ribbon, so don't do that. Don't, do as I do, but don't rip the ribbon. You have to cut the slits The slits is going to take the bulk out of the ribbon. Kind of like it when you twist the ribbon, you know that twist that you put in when we use the bow makers. Cutting the slits gives that same kind of effect. You have to take that thickness out of the ribbon at that center. All right. Everybody got that? What do y'all think? Okay, so that's using the Measure Buddy, and I'm going to show you one more using the Measure Buddy. And this other one that we're going to do using the Measure Buddy, we're just going to call it a nice little package bow. So because we're just doing a nice kind of little package bow, I'm going to cut 12-inch ribbon tail to start. Cut our little slit. We're going to start at 12 inches. We're going to make 4 loops to start. Just going to smash that down. Then we're going to go down to 11 inches. Always start halfway down on your Measure Buddy. I'm going to kind of smash this a little bit. Set that there. And then we're going to go down one more time, and we're just going to make 2 loops. Center down, 1. Actually, just 1 loop. Set. Around 1 time. So that wasn't centered, so we're going to fix that real quick. Oopsie. All right, so now we're going to take all of our ribbon. We're going to fold them all in half, find center. Cut our slits. You can have more than 1 ribbon tail if you want to. I'm just going to use 1 for this example. Grab a zip tie. cinch that up. And I'm going to start with the bottom loops, pulling them apart. And now that we have our loops pulled apart, I'm going to grab my two tails because I'm going to use them to hold my bow while I shape my bow for my, like I said, this is just a cute little package bow, y'all, for a package. Some people like to, or have always wanted to make package bows for some of the Christmas presents under the tree, but struggle with making a bow. So this is just a super easy way to do that using Measure Buddy. There you have it. Isn't that cute? Would y'all like to see one more bow with the Measure Buddy? I got a good one for you if y'all want to see one more. Otherwise, I'll show you. I'll start showing on the EzBow. Okay, so one more. Y'all are going to like this one, so I saved this one for last. I'm going to show you how to make, you know, the little bows that we put on Christmas trees? Excuse me. Have y'all always wanted to put bows on Christmas trees but kind of struggle with making a bow? Wop, wop, wop. I'm going to show you a super easy way to do that. Ike. All right. I'm going to pull out some ribbon. I gotta get something to put my garbage in, y'all. Whew. Okay, let me get my ribbon ready here to show you. So, depending on how big your tree is, I'm gonna go ahead and answer some questions while I'm getting my ribbon ready. Depending on how big your tree is going to depend on how many ribbons you need, because people are like, well, how many ribbons? Well, if you have like a 6-foot tree, you're not going to need 50-yard rolls of ribbon. You'll just need a couple of 10-yard rolls of ribbon. But what I'm going to show you is something a little bit different, because what's really popular right now is taking some curly ribbon is taking the smaller ribbon and making the curly cues on your tree at the same time, so that's what we're going to do. So the first things first, okay? We're going to make our tails for that. And I'm the kind of person that I want my tails to be consistent, so I'm going to actually use my Measure Buddy to measure those first. All right? And when we're doing this, to make these curly cues that go down the really, I would recommend 1/7, 1/8, an inch or under, Beck. An inch or under, make the little curly cues. All right? But we're going to use this the standard, like normal way. And I want mine to be, that's 20 inches. Okay? So I want my tails to be like 60 inches long. So we're going to wrap it 3 times. From here to here is 20 inches, so I wrapped it 3 times. That way I can have a nice curly cue going down the tree. See that? Now once we measure the first one, we can just go ahead and take our other ribbon and use it to measure our second tail. All right, and now I'm going to set those aside. And now we'll actually start making the bow. All right. So for this one, I'm just going to let y'all know this is an example. The bows that I'm making out of this ribbon is actually going to go on a 12-foot tree. So the bows I want pretty large, pretty full. I need them to take up a lot of real estate. So this is the kind of an example of a bow, like if you needed to take up a lot of real estate, my friends. And if you need your bow to take up a lot of real estate, you're going to want to throw in some 4-inch ribbon as well. Don't leave it to your smaller ribbons, but you're going to get a 4-inch ribbon. Okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to start out with 8-inch loops, okay? So what we're going to do is I kind of want some pretty long, nice size ribbon tails as well to start. So I'm going to start out with a 20-inch. My ribbon tail is going to be 20 inches. Since we already have that on center, we're going to go ahead and make our nips. And now we're going to make our 8-inch loops. Remember, start in the center with your ribbon. We just need 1 set of 8-inch loops out of the 4-inch ribbon. And now we're going to fold that in half. And cut our splits. Hello, Miss Jill. How are you? I hadn't seen you in a long time, my friend. Okay, so that's our 4-inch ribbon to start. That's going to be the bottom of our bow. All right. Now I'm going to show you a trick. I don't know if you noticed, but this ribbon is squirreling on me. It's moving quite a bit. And we really don't want that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try something first because I don't want it moving around. So the first thing I'm going to try to, I'm just going to flatten it out. See if that helps. Okay, that helps. So I flattened it out so it's not moving around now. The reason you cut the slits, it takes the bulk out of the center of it. Because otherwise, when you go to ball this up and tighten it up, you end up with a wad of ribbon that won't separate out at all. It replaces having that twist. Like when you conventionally make a bow, that twist that you put in, it replaces that. All right, so next up, we're going to throw in a stripe ribbon. Oops, I forgot to. We're going to do that at 14 inches. We're going to go down an inch. I forgot to go down. It's on me. I was too busy answering questions. I lost my train of thought. It doesn't matter, Judy. It really doesn't matter. All right. And then I'm going to cut my tail. And I'm still going to cut a 20-inch tail because what we're doing is a bow for a Christmas tree bow. And these are the bows that you put throughout your tree. Okay. So we're still going to cut a 20-inch ribbon tail. Okay. So all our ribbon tails as we go are going to be 20 inches. And then and then here we go again, we'll cut our slit. Now, when you're doing your Christmas bows, it's different, a little bit different than making a wreath bow. All our loops after the first one, they're all going to be the same length. So we're going to hold this at 14 inches. We're going to bring in some gingerbread. The tree that I'm doing is gingerbread. Then our 20-inch tail. Hello, Miss Cindy. Now, the reason I'm doing the curlicue ribbon is because when you do that also, when you have a very large tree, y'all, you gotta take up a lot of space or you're going to spend a fortune on ornaments. All right. So this is our 1.5. We're going to do our 20-inch tail. give a little nip. And then do our loop measurement. Nip. Nip. And I forgot to do something. That was part of my plan, so I'm going to take that back out. And I'm going to add my long ribbon tail here. And on this one, because it's so small, only thing we're going to have to do is we're going to basically clip that wire. That's all I'm doing, is I'm clipping that wire on that one. And then with this ribbon, I'm actually going to do 2 loops with it. And the reason I'm doing 2 loops with it is because, number one, it's smaller. And I want to bring in it, kind of gives it more of a fun, whimsy look too. And once again, because this ribbon is so narrow, the only thing we're going to have to do is basically nip the wire. And this ribbon is phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal for making little curly cues. Okay, so the last one we're going to lead off with is my lime green. Let me hold my stack here. I'm going to nip those little wires. And then for the top lime green one, we're just going to do 3 loops. Okay? So that's 1 loop over here on this side, 1 loop. This is 2. We just have to go halfway down the other side for the 3rd loop. Okay? 1, and then there's 2 loops over here. Now, the reason all the loops are going to be the same size is because when you tie these on to your tree, you're going to have branches and stuff that you need to fluff around. So you kind of want some pretty nice length loops so they still show through. But this is just how I do it. This is how I do the bows for my trees, my customers' trees. Some people do it different. So, and then typically what I would do is for my customers when doing a tree, but I'm going to grab a pipe cleaner this time. You can use a zip tie, then a pipe cleaner, but I'm just going to go ahead and grab a pipe cleaner this time. Want to make sure that we're going between in all splits. We're going to pull down on our stack. And then we're going to give our pipe cleaner a good twist, twist, twist. Then pull our tails down. We're going to start giving them shape. That has all our tails down. See how nice? And now we're actually going to start fluffing our bow. And I just kind of alternate my loops. I'm going to be careful pulling them apart. Not going to strong arm them like I did before. And see how I've got the stripe up here? So I'm going to go down with the stripe this time and up with the gingerbread to alternate. Ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? Did y'all know that you could make such beautiful bows with the Measure Buddy? And then for the curly cues, you just take your ribbon. You just kind of want to do this loosely, y'all. Roll it up. And this ribbon is phenomenal for doing this. And just kind of pull it down. And gives it bounce. See how that just gives a nice bounce, y'all? Nice curl. Which is going to look really pretty in the Christmas tree, right? All right. Ta-da-da-da. Let me grab something else here. Oh, come here. All right. So that you don't get confused, I'm going to grab some more ribbon, more. And we're going to, I'm going to show you how to do the same bow. Now we're going to use the EzBow Maker. Okay. And this is going to be for my own personal Christmas tree. All right. Whoop. So my tree, my own personal Christmas tree, my main one, like, is only 6 feet tall. Do. So with the EzBow Stow and Go, it actually makes this go a whole lot quicker. But using bow makers like this, not everybody understands it. That's fine. It's okay. Lori's gonna hate that she missed out because, you know, I bet she didn't know that her bow maker makes, that her, yep, the Measure Buddy made such pretty bows. I need one more ribbon, and it went to the ground. All right. So here we go. So I don't need to take up that much real estate on my own tree kind of thing. So our loops aren't going to have to be as big, but who am I kidding? I like big bows, my friends. All right. And I came out lie. Okay. So when you use the EzBow Maker, now if you want your tails to be longer, you're going to need something to help you measure, but I don't want my tails longer for this ribbon, so we're just going to start out. My first tail is going to be 7 inches, and we're going to pinch that down. And then this is where the twist comes in. Now this is where people get confused, so let me see if I can explain why. In order to make the loop, this ribbon has to come back. If you brought the ribbon back this way, then your ribbon would be upside down. So that's why you have to make this twist. You gotta flip the ribbon upside down, so when you bring it over, it's right side up. I kind of hope that helps with some of the confusion and I didn't make it worse. We're gonna put this in our bow maker, and I'm going to do a 7-inch loop. So I'm going to lay my hand here on the EzBow at the 7 inches, and then right here in the center I'm going to grab my ribbon and do my pinch and my twist again and set that down in there. And then I'm going to come back, so I just want the 2 loops. So this time we just get at the 7 inches and then pinch and put that down into our EzBow. And then snip our tail. Now, my next set of loops is going to be just a little bit smaller, but then all my loops are going to be the same size after. So we're going to go down to a 6-inch loop, but my tails are still going to be the same length. So pinch, twist. Notice how this is upside down, and the reason it's upside down, we want to bring this back over. And this is going to be a 6-inch loop. So we'll pinch, 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 twist. Like so. Then we want a 6-inch loop coming back on the other side. So just pinch, pinch, pinch. We're going to put that down in our bow maker. And then clip our tail. Now we're going to come in here with a little red ribbon. And I'm going to just make my tail just a slight longer on this. Not much, just a slight longer. Because that's just kind of what I pictured the look of this to be. And like I said, my loops are going to be the same size. So these are going to be 6-inch loops. And then, lastly, my black and white. This is going to be the ribbon that I curlicue down on my tree. So I'm going to want my tails to be a little bit longer. So basically what I'm going to do, y'all, just me personally, I'm going to take my arm and just pull it out to where I think I want it. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to guess. It's my tree. Somebody else's, I'm going to get picky and measure it because, you know. And now I'm going to do 3 loops. Of the same size. I got 2 loops over here on this side, one on the other side, and then I'm going to make my tails. Whether or not my tails are the same length kind of doesn't matter. Alright, so now to get my bow off my bow maker, the reason I put my pipe cleaner down first, some of us have difficulty. So I put my pipe cleaner on first, and what you want to do is crisscross this through. Take your first pipe cleaner, go through the other one, and come back through on this side. And that's going to help you hold your ribbon stack in place. So I'm going to pull that tight, and then I'm going to get my fingers under my ribbon stack and pull my bow off my bow maker. Okay. Oh, Rosanna, I'm glad I could help. That's kind of why I like to slow things down for a bit. Do it slowly. And I try to explain things differently. Okay, so there's my ribbon tail. So we're going to pull those out of the way first. Always when I'm kind of like fluffing these kind of bows and all my tails are going to go down, I'm going to pull all my tails down first and foremost and get them out of the way. By the way, have y'all been able to guess what my Christmas tree is yet? Nope. All right, and I want to show y'all something cool. You don't have to necessarily spiral your ribbon. You can actually take this ribbon and run it between both your fingers and get a nice pretty curl with it. Kind of twist it. Like so. And you'll get a nice, like, natural pretty curl to go down your tree. How many of these bows do I put on my tree? So here's my guideline for how many bows to put on your tree. It is, are y'all ready? There is actually a secret. I have a secret formula to how many bows to put on your tree. Are y'all ready? This is Jackie's tip for the day. You want my little tip? All right, so here's how this works. This depends. If nobody is going to see the back of your tree, if you're basically doing just like a half to 3/4 of the tree, it's 1 bow per foot. So if you have a 6-foot tree, you'll need 6 bows. If you have a 7-foot tree, you'll need 7 bows. If you have an 8-foot tree, 8 bows. If you have a 9-foot tree, 9 bows, etc., etc. Okay? Now, if you're going all the way around the tree, and believe it or not, funny, ha 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 ha, is that even when you aren't decorating the back per se, it's only 1/4 of your tree. Most people don't realize that they're like decorating 3/4 of their tree, unless they like back it up to a corner. But then you will add so 1 bow per foot, and then what you're going to do, if you're decorating all the way around your tree, you'll add 3 more bows to that. Okay, so if I was going to decorate all the way around my 6-foot tree, I would have 9 bows. Okay, so if you have a 7-foot tree, then you would have 10 bows. 8-foot tree, you would have 11 bows. 9-foot tree, 12 bows. Y'all understand? So if you're decorating like the front, nobody's going to see the back. It's 1 bow per foot. That's my formula. It works. My tree's not decorated yet. Miss Pam, I did show it, and this tutorial will be available for replay. So these are the bows that we made tonight. This one is the nice like tree bow that we used the EzBow Maker to make. This is a bow that y'all won't see me commonly make on the EzBow Maker, so that's why I showed you this one tonight on the EzBow Maker. Okay? And then we made a very similar bow, and we used the Measure Buddy to make this one. Okay, this is another tree bow. This is for a 12-foot tree. This is why this bow is considerably larger as well, and it has more loops and more bows to it. This is going on a 12-foot tree, and for this one, we used the Measure Buddy. Can y'all believe that? The Measure Buddy made this bow. Right? Lori's going to flip out because she doesn't even know. Right? Okay? And then we made this one is just a basic wreath style bow. And once again, we used the Measure Buddy to make this one. And then once you got this one on your wreath, you would get it rearranged and fluffed out better. Like I said, this is just your basic wreath bow. And then this one I used the Measure Buddy once again. It's just a nice little package bow to go on Christmas packages. Just nice and simple. right? Did y'all know that you could make bows with your measure buddy? I do now. And look how pretty they turned out. Da, 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 da. All right, my friends. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope that this will give y'all, using your measure buddy, or if you want to get an EzBow Maker, I hope it will give you more freedom to start making more bows for your wreath projects or for your Christmas trees. Okay? Thank y'all so much for joining me and hanging out. I will see y'all next week. All right? Bye, y'all.